There is a nutrient your brain cannot manufacture. It governs inflammation, membrane integrity, and the architecture of every nerve cell. Without it, cognition falters, and the cardiovascular system loses its rhythm. It is omega-3 fatty acid, and the modern diet has nearly erased it. Pharmaceutical companies sell it in capsules for $12 a bottle. Yet 5 plants grow freely in fields, roadsides, and disturbed soils across every continent. They contain omega-3 in concentrations that rival commercial supplements. Industry does not promote them. Agrochemical companies did not develop them. They cost nothing. They require no prescription. That is precisely why they remain invisible. This video documents 5 wild plants rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Each one marginalized, each one misnamed, each one called a weed. The system forgot them deliberately. Nature did not. The first plant on this list grows in every garden on Earth, and most gardeners destroy it on sight. Portulaca oleracea, known as Purslane, labeled a weed. Yet it contains between 350 and 400 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid per 100 grams of fresh weight. No other leafy vegetable comes close. Spinach contains roughly 138 milligrams. Kale contains approximately 180. Purslane nearly doubles both. The ancient Greeks consumed it medicinally. Mahatma Gandhi reportedly listed it among his preferred foods. Roman agricultural texts referenced it as a common table herb. Then the monoculture era arrived. Purslane does not grow in rows. It does not tolerate mechanical harvesting. It sprawls. It self-seeds. It refuses uniformity. The industrial system could not commodify it, so it reclassified it as a weed. The omega-3 content remained. The grocery store shelves did not include it. History was rewritten in the herbicide aisle. Long before supplement companies bottled flaxseed oil, wild flax carpeted the meadows of Europe and Central Asia. Linum usitatissimum. Its seeds contain 22 to 23 grams of alpha-linolenic acid per 100 grams. Wild populations still persist along roadsides, railway embankments, and disturbed grasslands. Ancient Egyptians cultivated flax for fiber and oil simultaneously. Neolithic sites in Switzerland yielded preserved flax seeds alongside evidence of consumption. The nutritional architecture of wild flax seed is extraordinary. It carries an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of approximately 1 to 4, the inverse of almost every modern processed food. The modern diet averages a ratio of 15 to 1 omega-6 dominant. That imbalance drives systemic inflammation. Wild flax corrects it. Yet, commercial agriculture replaced diverse seed crops with soy and canola, both omega-6 heavy. The inversion was not accidental. Omega-6 dominated crops process better, store longer, and generate more profit. The trade destroyed a dietary equilibrium that had persisted for 10,000 years. In the arid borderlands of the American Southwest and northern Mexico, a small-leafed sage relative produces seeds that once sustained entire civilizations. Salvia hispanica, wild chia, contains approximately 17 to 20 grams of omega-3 per 100 grams of dry seed. Aztec warriors consumed it before long marches. Messengers carried it as the sole provision for multi-day runs. Spanish conquistadors documented its use and then systematically suppressed its cultivation. Chia was politically inconvenient. It required no irrigation infrastructure, no processing facility, no taxation point. A population that could feed itself from wild seed was a population difficult to control. Cultivation was banned in colonial Mexico for over 2 centuries. The plant survived in remote wild populations across Sonora and Chihuahua. Its seed structure contains a near-perfect balance of soluble fiber and omega-3 fatty acids. That combination slows glucose absorption and reduces arterial inflammation simultaneously. Modern research confirmed what the Aztecs practiced empirically. Wild populations still exist. Pharmaceutical research does not reference them. The seed that fed empires remains outside the medical conversation. Urtica dioica grows along every river, fence line, and neglected field across the northern hemisphere. It stings, it invades. Every gardener considers it an enemy. Yet dried nettle leaf contains between 400 and 500 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids per 100 grams. It also carries significant quantities of iron, calcium, and vitamin K. Medieval European peasants ate nettle soup from March through May, the hunger months before first harvest. The plant provided essential fatty acids and micronutrients precisely when winter-depleted bodies needed them most. Indigenous communities across North America used nettle as a spring tonic green. British wartime records from the 1940s document organized nettle harvesting programs. Then post-war agricultural prosperity arrived. Cheap imports and subsidized vegetables made foraging unnecessary, or so the system claimed. Nettle was reclassified from survival food to nuisance plant. Herbicide manufacturers profited. Supplement companies filled the nutritional gap nettle once occupied. The plant still grows for free. The capsules cost money. The reclassification was economically motivated. It was not scientific. Cannabis sativa, in its wild, low-THC form, produces seeds containing 8 to 9 grams of omega-3 per 100 grams, alongside an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio close to 3 to 1. Wild hemp populations once spread freely across Eurasia, Central Asia, and parts of North America. Hemp seed was a primary protein and fat source for rural communities across Russia, Ukraine, and Poland well into the 20th century. Traditional Polish and Ukrainian cuisine documented hemp seed oil as the dominant cooking fat before sunflower oil displaced it. The displacement was industrial, not culinary. Sunflower oil processed more efficiently. It standardized more easily. It carried no regulatory complexity. Hemp became entangled in drug legislation during the 1930s. The botanical distinction between fiber hemp and psychoactive cannabis was deliberately blurred in policy documents. Wild hemp populations were eradicated across vast territories not because they were harmful, but because they were legally convenient to eliminate. The seed that fed Eastern European winters vanished from the table. The omega-3 content it carried was never replaced by the crops that followed. Today, hemp seed oil reappears in health food stores at premium prices, derived from the same plant that once grew wild and cost nothing. The chemistry did not change. The economics did. A 2013 study published in Phytochemistry confirmed Purslane's alpha-linolenic acid content as the highest recorded in any common leafy vegetable. Research from the University of Toronto established flax seeds' omega-3 ratio as superior to fish oil in reducing specific inflammatory markers in controlled trials. A 2009 paper in the Journal of Food Science documented wild chia seeds' fatty acid profile across multiple wild populations. Nettle's nutritional density was catalogued in ethnobotanical surveys across 17 European countries, published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology in 2012. Hemp seeds' optimal fatty acid ratio has been recognized since a landmark 1992 paper in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry. The data exists, it is peer-reviewed, it is publicly available. None of these plants received pharmaceutical development investment. None generated patent revenue. The research gap is not scientific, it is financial. A plant that grows freely cannot be owned. It cannot be licensed. The pharmaceutical model requires scarcity. These plants refuse to be scarce. The laboratory confirms what traditional diets demonstrated for centuries. The boardroom ignored both. 5 plants, 0 cost, millennia of documentation. Purslane grows between paving stones. Nettle borders every stream. Flax seeds itself along roadsides. Wild chia persists across the American Southwest. Hemp seed has returned to legal cultivation in dozens of countries. The Omega-3 crisis is not a shortage of molecules. It is a shortage of attention. The supplement industry generated $35 billion in 2023, much of it selling nutrients freely available in plants classified as weeds. The economic architecture of modern nutrition depends on that ignorance continuing. Learn one plant, then the next, then the next. Rebuild the botanical literacy that 10,000 years of human history constructed, and 1 century of industrial agriculture dismantled. The weeds are not the problem. The blindness is. Grow purslane in a pot. Let nettle establish in a corner. Find wild flax along the fence. The most radical act in the modern food system is recognizing what grows for free. The plants have not forgotten what they are. The question is whether we remember.